Jen, would you like to start?
Sure. Hey, Eric, how are you?
Hey, Jen.
Can obviously we can see the box score, but didn't get to see the game. Can you just give us a little bit of an overview and kind of your takeaways?
Yeah, it was a typical preseason game. We did some good things. We have some things to work on, obviously, and it's a good test when you go against a team. And obviously, we played them yesterday or scrimmaged with them yesterday, and they knew what we were running. We're not running a lot of things, so they really locked into our stuff. But we had good stretches and stretches that were a struggle. We let the bench group finish the game for the last several, 8-10 minutes. But that's the group that also got us a lead, in the second quarter. So probably can go up and down the roster and, pull some good stuff and some stuff to work on from everybody. But I think biggest thing is we kind of kept our minutes where we wanted them, and everybody got a little game feel back.
So what was going well in that second quarter, the plus 12 in that quarter?
We tightened up our defense a little bit, not letting them get in the paint into the foul line quite as easily. And we were able to get some runouts off of our stops, and I thought we really moved the ball well for a good stretch. Most of the first half. I think at halftime we had 14 assists on 17 baskets. So we were really getting the ball moving, and it's just tough to sustain. We don't have the chemistry yet that we'll have in a couple weeks. And it's first step.
And I saw Emily Engsler got some minutes. I know that she had some sort of back injury, I think, overseas. Is she full go? What is kind of her status, and how much can she do right now?
Yeah, like you said, she played in the game, so she is at that point. Now it's just a matter of kind of getting her. She had kind of done everything except play a lot of live 5-on-5 full court. So just kind of getting her feet wet doing that again. And I probably would have given her one more run there, but I thought she had sat for a little while, and I wasn't sure if how loose that back was feeling. But yeah, she looked good for first time playing live minutes in a while.
I guess you guys are unfortunately well versed in knowing how to manage back injuries.
Yeah, hope we don't have to do it much more.
Yeah. Last thing for me, I assume you have seen a lot of Diamond Miller over the years when she was at Maryland, but now that she's in a Lynx jersey, just curious. It looks like she got to the foul line a lot. But what stood out to you tonight about her in a Cheryl system specifically?
Well, she's obviously a very good player, the consensus number 2 pick and an obvious pro. Pro spacing should help her ability to make plays and go off the dribble. She's aggressive. She's got good stuff at the end of her moves, like she's willing to drive and pivot and step through. I think it's a sign. Usually when we see rookies come in the league and get a lot of free throws and foul calls, it's a sign of things to come. It tends to be kind of how you come in is how you get calls through your career. So, and she'll get better and better. Obviously, it's a good system for her to be in. It's a history of winning here. So I think it's probably a great fit of team and player.
Awesome. Thanks. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Wayne?
Hey, thank you, Coach. Without looking at the game, I kind of noticed you shot 34%, but only lost by 3. So it lets me know the defensive culture is still there. What did you like? How does that make you feel? Even though it's a preseason game, you only lose by 3, but you shot 34%. Is that encouraging for you?
I mean, I'm not thrilled about the 34%.
No, I'm saying, is that encouraging that you that was not a good shooting night, but you still were in the game?
I mean, it is. I'm encouraged by some possessions and some possessions not. They've got a lot of good players that aren't here either, so we're going to have to up it. I don't like that we put them on the line 25 times. That was kind of an emphasis for us before the game, was keeping them out of the paint and off the line. And when we did that well is when we had our good runs in the game. So, we'll look at the film and take some good and take some obvious things to work on.
Ironically, you had a pregame sit down with TT, 6 for 8, 14 points. What was just working so well for her tonight?
She shot it with confidence. She got some good runouts in transition. She rim ran and sealed. And, she did a good job. I moved her around. I kind of gave her a heads up that she's going to have to play some 3 because we have more bigs than guards. And she was able to move, between 3 and the 4 and a little bit of 5 with Elena. And that's the luxury of having some vets that have been around and done that before.
And just one more for you. I noticed 6 personal fouls, but that lets me know she was maybe aggressive on defense. Could you just talk about what you saw her on her defensive side of the ball tonight?
Yeah, it was a good learning experience for me. Minnesota's kind of big across the board.
Mhm.
So, she got down in the lane a couple times, but, like 3 of her fouls were in the last couple minutes when we were trying to scramble and trap.
Okay,
So,
okay, makes sense. Okay.
I don't know. She didn't love fouling out, but, it's how it goes.
Hey, safe travels back home to you, Coach.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I do.
All right. Does anyone have any more questions for Eric?
All right.
All right. Yeah, I think you're good to go. Thanks, Eric. Jen, would you like to go first?
Sure, thanks. Hey, Tosh. Hey, Tianna. So we're flying a little bit blind. We just got the box score, but didn't actually get to watch. So I'm going to start really broad. Each of you, what's like 1 or 2 takeaways you have from tonight?
I like where we are as a team. We did some really good things, both offensively and defensively. In the second half, we kind of slipped away, from our schemes a little bit. But I really like how we played together today. We knew it wasn't going to be easy for play against Minnesota. They made things a little hard for us, but overall, I'm happy, with the quick turnaround from the start of training camp.
Yeah, same sentiments. We've had 2 days of practice. So coming out here yesterday, getting some practice in against them, and then actually having a game today, I'm very impressed with how we were able to come out and execute certain things. And, this is just a process for us to really work on things that we've been talking about the 2 days of training camp. But Minnesota's a really good team. It's always a good matchup for us to prepare us for the season. But we're just going to continue to take these things that we learned tonight, the good and the bad, and implement them into practice on Sunday. And then we're just going to keep going. It's not where we are now. I think we've all kind of said that. It's a day-by-day process right now in training camp, but 12 more days in practices and an exhibition game to get ready for season.
And Tianna, Eric was telling us how he was mixing you up at 3 different positions, and I know that's tricky. So how did you kind of approach that? And it looked like you got off to a pretty hot start in particular. So can you just talk about your performance individually? And then I know Tasha's going to have something to say about that too.
I think just before he came to me and told me that was going to be the expectation, and that's just my job to be ready and stay ready. Like I said, pregame, whatever's thrown my way, whatever challenge I have, I'm not afraid to step up to it.
Mm-hmm. TT's built for it. She's such a versatile player for us. The ability to play the 3 and the 4. She's a vet with a very high IQ, and she's in probably the best shape I've seen, period. So, she's been working her ass off. So, yeah, she deserves these flowers tonight, and she really held us down, especially when we needed it.
Awesome. Thank you both. Safe travels.
Yeah.
Wayne?
Oh, thank you. TT, 6 for 8, 14 points. How were you able to get to your spots? I noticed you feel like you're just playing with a level of confidence from what I've noticed. How did you were able to get to your spots tonight?
I'm just playing with confidence. Coach E and the coaching staff has done a great job with knowing the personnel and just being able to put an offense where we're able to get to our sweet spots. And it just happened to be a night where my teammates were able to find me and open, spots, and I was able to knock some shots down.
Also, you are a champion. I just wanted to know what is a why that you have as you come into this 10th year of your WNBA season?
My why, first and foremost, my son, Emmanuel.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also playing for my grandfather.
Amen.
T Cloud, 7 assists tonight. The WNBA assist leader. You as a point guard, your number 1 goal is to protect the rock. How would you assess yourself as you dishing down out there tonight?
My job right now in preseason is to really get my teammates going. And I understand that that's my role, to put them in successful situations. And whatever my role is any single night, that's what I want to be able to do for my team. So I know right now, defensive stopper and push the ball, push with pace and find my teammates. And I'll find myself. It will always come back to me. But I really am focused on just setting my teammates up in successful situations and just allowing them easy shots. And they're doing a really great job of finding their spots. But yeah, that's just my goal, is to really orchestrate our offense, put everyone in the right spots, and just put them in easy, successful situations.
And two more for you, Tosh. One is, even though you can look at it as a negative, you can still look at it as a positive. You all shot 34%, but only lost by 3. That shows me that I didn't get to see the game, but the defensive mentality, the dog mentality, you didn't have your whole core group, but you got to be encouraged. I know you can put them at the line 25 times, but to only lose by 3 with that type of defensive intent, what's the takeaway from on that end as well?
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, I know if people get mad when I say this, but I'm not worried about what the final score was tonight. This is about us getting out, practicing, and implementing what we've been working on the 2 days of training camp against another team, not our scout guy, a real life game to get the jitters out, to feel what it feels like to be in a uniform again. So there is a lot of different areas that we can be better on defense. And that's the beautiful thing, is we're going to be a really, really great defensive team this year. And right now it's just about, okay, we had 2 days of practice to really figure out what our defensive principles are and how do we challenge ourselves within these games to get to those positions. So I think we can do a better job at being at nail and rim early, being at help side early, shifting side to side, and not taking a break once the ball gets away from our player, right? So it's all small things that are completely in our control. So we'll watch film back on Sunday and get better in Sunday's practice, and then we'll implement it on, say, at Atlanta. This is all about growth through training camp. So we're not necessarily, yes, we would want to win the game, but this is not the final score. We have 5 players at home that are resting from playing really great overseas seasons. So the team that we have Wednesday is going to be a completely different team.
And last one for you. We talk about growing the game. The W is so important, as Eric Thibault says. I saw a couple of people say that you helped them find their voice again, you have such a powerful, stoic voice that people will listen. Young men, young women. How have you been able to step into that, knowing, like, your words matter and your words hold power, that you're transcending color lines, religion lines? A lot of people gave you a flower saying, like, thank you for inspiring me, Tosh. So I saw that and was inspired too. So I just want to know how did you kind of find your voice to have that kind of confidence?
Appreciate you.
No problem.
I'm sure you saw my tweets. It's not an easy thing. I think that who I am gets villainized a lot, but why I am the way I am is I'm a product of my environment, the way my family raised me. I come from a family of strong, powerful women that aren't afraid to speak up and be their authentic selves. And then just understanding through the process of what has God's purpose been for my life and for my career. And I truly believe that I am a servant to my community, to others. And so if I can just, be my goofy, loud, annoying self every single day and brighten up one person's day, that's a win for me. If I can change the trajectory of someone's day by just being myself and authentic to who I am and sharing my love, leading with my light, then that's always who I want to be. So sometimes it gets taken advantage of, sometimes it's not appreciated, but that doesn't mean that my job or who I am or what my heart does for people and in their lives, that doesn't change. So I just want to continue to be my authentic self, and that's just what I'm going to be.
You changed mine, and safe travels back to Washington, ladies. Appreciate y'all.
Jen, do you have another question?
Yeah, just one more. Tosh, for you, just curious, I'm noticing Jazz Jones got the start, and just curious, not her best shooting night, but overall your impressions of her, because I know we've all been talking about Kira going crazy in Israel, but Jazz and Tori and a bunch of them were over there too. So just your thoughts on Jasmine overall.
Yeah, I think Jazz is a dog. I think that she's continuously gotten better since the time being in the league and her time overseas. And whether or not that she shot the ball well tonight, she took really good shots. She played phenomenal defense, was really great within our offense of understanding where to be, what timing to be, executing our offensive sets and really just setting people up. So her overall game continues to grow. She continues to get better, but Jazz is a phenomenal player that we're lucky to have.
Awesome.
I think she did a great job starting tonight.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. With that, we are going to wrap up. Thank you both.
Good. Be safe, y'all.
And thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you.
You like the season?
Thank you very much.